Your game
Your game.
Your game.
Your game.
is about to get a wake-up call.
Hello and welcome back to the Red Rooster Golf Podcast alongside Carrie Moher, company founder. I am Brad Fritsch, former PGA Tour player, current yet inactive Korn Ferry Tour member, and Red Rooster founding partner. Red Rooster Golf. Join us in waking up your golf glove game. We want to help you with your golf gloves. It's often neglected, and yet it's ever present on each and every shot you hit. Learn to manage your glove. Make sure it's there to help you, and change it when it's not. Red Rooster Golf. Wake up, shake up, step up, and give. Carrie, I missed you on this platform. It's been a while. It's been a long while. And big respect to those who podcast daily, bi-weekly. It's not easy, is it?
No, I love the format, but it's hard to carve out time for it. And, we had a bit of a ambitious goals with this to try and do a bi-weekly. And, from the, I don't think there was ever a 2-week stint where we weren't scrambling to just kind of keep up with it. It was definitely a lot. And then all of a sudden, like the summer hit and it was just kind of crazy busy, and we had a hard time carving out, time for lots of stuff. And this sort of fell by the wayside. We had a number of great guests lined up that we just, we couldn't coordinate multiple schedules and all those types of things. So, no, it's good to reconnect on this. And I think realistically, moving forward, we're going to shoot for a monthly podcast to, we'll bring on the odd guest, and otherwise provide, there's always something to share and chat about each month. But, even bi-weekly, which we thought we could handle, it was too much, especially once that busy summer season hit.
Well, yeah, now that I've gone into the head coaching ranks of the Raleigh 10U Advanced House League season, it's tough to manage time. It's just another added responsibility, and God knows these kids, they're gonna get whipped into shape quick with me as their mentor. But what's
the current standings?
We're 2-2. We're 2-2. We got off the schneid this past week. We won 7-4, and those 7 goals were more than the combined total from our first 3 games. We won our first game 3-1, lockdown, shutdown, like that. And then we had a substitute goalie for the next 2 games. Unfortunately, ours was sick and had another commitment the second game, and we did not perform well in front of him. And he's a little bit of a new goalie, so he got shelled, and it was mostly our team's fault. But it was. It's been fun, man. I was an assistant coach for a bunch of years, and I feel the results-oriented responsibility after a game now, and I never did before. I just thought, like, hey, I want my son to have fun. I want to help these kids progress a little bit in their hockey journey, and now as the head coach, like, all eyes on me after a loss. So, or I feel it anyway. The parents have been great so far, but it's a little bit of a different animal. I'm not used to it, but it's been a lot of fun so far. But like you said, we had a busy summer, and maybe we give people a little bit of background on, how many people are full-time working with us. I peg it at 4, right? The 2 of us, Glenn and Mandy, help you in Ottawa. I'm by myself in North Carolina. So as the summer gets busier and busier, it's still the 4 of us. And you guys are up in Ottawa doing countless number of events. Why don't you share a few of the events that you did? How many golfers there would be at an event? You had one with 2 golf courses, I remember. But just kind of take folks behind the curtain about what Red Rooster being at a glove fitting for an event is like.
Yeah, last summer we dipped our toe into it a little bit. We always felt like the best possible experiences is getting fit up. That's what we've we've figured out over the last couple of years online is a lot of people don't know what their proper size is. They may well have been wearing a medium for years. They're generally happy with it, but they've never tried a cadet medium or a cadet small or go down to a small. Usually I would say, in most cases, most golfers can move down at least a glove size, sometimes two. So when we do these events, we get a chance to showcase, the breadth of our sizing. We often say, it goes up to 34 sizes when you get into our youth sizes, 28 sizes when you're just in our adult sizes. So there's a real wide range. And so it's a great opportunity to grab golfers on a tee box and get them fit up. We've had some amazing, generous sponsors who bring us out. They buy the gloves for their guests and they fit them up. And it's typically a unique experience. A lot of people just either they don't get that opportunity, in a retail store or in a pro shop. They're in a bit of a hurry. They tend to grab, the size that they're most familiar with. Usually, in a hurry, you just whatever sort of you try on, it generally fits well. You're not trying multiple sizes, and you probably feel a bit guilty trying on multiple golf gloves and stretching them out. But that's the whole experience at these events. So we dipped our toe in last year. We did a few events. It went real well. And often what would happen is there'd be somebody would come through who's on a board organizing an event, for the following year. And they, reached out to try and, bring our team out to their events this summer. We must have done, 8 to 10 events, at least a couple every month. Fairly local, but, we got down to some member guests in and around the Toronto area, but mostly in Ottawa. Some great partners like Faces Magazine, where we're out to 3 of their different events doing different things. Even in some cases, it was a glove fitting. In other cases, we were offering our wide range of accessories and just trying to give golfers, something new, something different. So, but those are long days. You touched on the one event. We did this amazing event with BOMA. It's sort of commercial real estate organization in Ottawa, and they do an incredible event up at Chateau Montebello. Just beautiful play. It's 2 courses, so it was, close to 300 golfers on these 2 different courses, and we were had to split our small team up into the 2 courses to fit everybody up there. We just recently did a great event with the Do It for Darren Foundation, sponsored by Innovation Realty out at Eagle Creek. We had an amazing day. That's such a great golf course. And that was really fun. Just kind of, it's a nice surprise. Most people pull up and they kind of hide in their cart. They figure, we're another one of these activations trying to squeeze more money out of them at the charity event. And we're in fact, offering them a free glove and a fitting. And, most people just put that glove on right away and play the rest of the round with it. So it was a great chance, I think, to, meet some, you often come across a few customers who've got a Red Rooster glove too. That's always fun, seeing one in the wild. But it's a big undertaking. It's a long day. Typically these charity events are long, 6-7 hours on the course itself, let alone, maybe some sort of lunch and dinner after. So we got pretty lucky this summer with the weather, and largely had, pretty good weather, usually sort of warm, steamy days. And but we had a lot of fun. But it definitely kind of takes us, we did, like, to your point, small team, really, just the 4 of us. So probably come across Mandish does such amazing job on our marketing and social media. Glenn, he's kind of that jack of all trades, handles all of our fulfillment and customer service, and has helped us transition to our new warehouse this summer as well, which has been great. We had some help from some summer students. Sam was great, came out to a couple of events and helped us do some shipping and fulfillment. And then we've got, our awesome design team headed up by Mariana. She's been with us for the last year or so. after our initial design team who got us kind of kicked off, Jason and Amber, who were incredible. So she's kind of taken the ball and run with it. And but yeah, we're small and nimble, and it was a great, busy, awesome summer. And I know, Brad, you got to involved in a couple of events too, and got to play in some.
I did, yeah. So just to give people some background, like if we have 144 player, charity scramble field, a lot of people would be like, oh, you bring 150 gloves, it'll work out. No, we got to bring about 2.5 times the number of actual golfers. So when I'm doing it on my own, or if I have a helper, I'll say, okay, 144 players, I'm bringing 320 gloves probably just to be sure, right? Mm-hmm. And we have our breakdown of our most common sizes, and there's always going to be outliers for certain events. I think I did a Corn Ferry Tour Pro-Am in Nashville mid-September, and I think there were 4 left-handed golfers out of 120 players.
Wow.
It was insane. You go up to Canada, it's 40 out of 120, or a third, maybe 40% almost. That day, 4 out of 120, which, if you know math, that's 3%. So I was more than prepared for that. But then the right-handed size starts to get a little bit dicey, right? Didn't run out of any, but it was just it's complicated. And a lot of times we'd love to ship gloves to these faraway places for glove fittings, but number one, they don't get our expertise, and number two, God knows we're not going to get the right sizing. It's 300 gloves. It's a pain to ship there and back. So far we're staying local with this. Although Nashville is not terribly local, I drove 8 hours there and back. Got to experience Buc-ee's, if people don't know what that is. Huh. Google that. It's amazing. But yeah, I've had some fun with that. The week or 2 weeks after Nashville, I drove up to West Virginia, the Pete Dye Golf Club in Bridgeport, West Virginia, which I'd played first off in a nationwide tour event all the way back in 2009.
Wow.
And then I got to play in the UHC Pro-Am last year. It's a hospital Pro-Am benefiting the area, Bridgeport, West Virginia. And they invited us back again, both as myself playing in the event and Red Rooster to be a tee gift. So again, you were there last year. You weren't there this year. So Glenn came down and was on the 4th tee and fitted up everyone with a Red Rooster glove. And unfortunately, Glenn saw my catastrophe on the 3rd hole. I was playing well before then, but it was a great day. It's such a fantastic golf course. We've shared some photos and video of that course before, built kind of on an old site of a mine, an old quarry. Just such a cool site. A lot of dramatic shots, more visual intimidation than actual difficulty, but again, that's golf, right? Like Pete Dye's the master of the visual intimidation.
Yeah. I got to play it last year, and I don't know. I don't think it was just visual, but
there's definitely some tough tee shots out there. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
But I started on the 9th hole, tough par 4, but they had us, I think the tee was up from last year, which made the 290 carry to the fairway a little bit easier. It's more like 260. I can handle that. Started on 9, and through the 18th hole, I was 2 under par, and then I jarred it from, I think it was like 80 yards on number 1 from the fairway. So I'm 4 under par and thinking, like, it's $5,000 for first. It's a legit event. Like, I'm thinking, man, this could be amazing. And I got to the 3rd hole. It's a short par 4, and the pin was in the same spot as last year, tucked in the back right. And I hit a driver this time. Didn't want to mess with the fairway bunker. I hit it about 40 yards short of the green. And we were playing lift, clean, and place because the place was soaking wet. And didn't really have any other option than to keep it on this downslope. And so I'm hitting about a 40 to 50 yard pitch, and I'm trying to hit it low to drive it into the green because it's soft, and then hop up and then scoot back to the back right. And when I tell you I sculled it, it was a legitimate, it probably didn't get a foot off the ground. It was a legitimate skull. And as it flew over the green or across the green, I thought, well, it's hard to be upset about this because I played 2 weeks ago was the last time I played golf, so I'm not going to get too upset about it. That was kind of a getting all even for the double bogey on the eagle on number one, holing it from the fairway. In the end, I think I shot 2 under. I think I parred the rest of the holes after that, and finished 8th, made a little bit of cash, but it was such a fun day. Being in a competitive environment, I don't do it much anymore, and it was definitely fun to get those juices flowing, especially after holing that shot, thinking I'm in contention. And besides that one disastrous pitch, otherwise I played really well. Couldn't get much to fall after that. Had a few chances, but I kept having the same yardage on par 5s for the second shot, and then there was a par 3 where I had the same yardage, like 218, 220. That used to be a 4-iron, but now with some reduced distance and flexibility, it's no longer a 4-iron, and I'm trying to fit in something or smash the 4-iron. And
you need the 4.5 iron.
Yeah, I needed the 3 or some sort of a hybrid variation. It would have been so much better, but every time I got down in 4 shots from that spot. So if I did that 3 times, get down in 3 shots instead of 4, I probably finished second. And then we're talking about a really nice day instead of like, that was a fun day. But all in all, it was super fun. They raised a ton of money. I think it was in the neighborhood of, it was either $150,000 or $250,000 for the hospital.
Wow.
A lot of really good pros played golf that day. It was fun to watch. I myself played, had some fun, and we got Red Rooster out to another 120 players that day. So it was quite a day, and that's a little bit of what kind of we strive to do in our glove fitting program. We'll make a drive. It was 6 hours for me, not a huge deal, but again, could we do it in California? Probably not, but there's a few states around me that we could do, and there's a bunch of cities around Ottawa that you could do it for. It's just like you said, long day, but for the company, definitely worth it.
Yeah, it's great. We're definitely going to build on that and do some more. I love doing them. My last event was well, I guess it was my last event because I didn't do the Eagle Creek event. I got a chance to play that day. As I just love to play Eagle Creek once a year. To me, it's the best course in Ottawa, and it was a treat. It was in good shape, and you got to play it this summer in the PJ Tour Canada event. But I got to do an amazing event up in North Georgia at Currahee Club with Dwight and his crew for the Bulldogs Battling Breast Cancer event. And these guys put on an awesome show. And same thing, we got a chance around this just stunning par 3. Just same thing. This property is amazing. I remember there's one spot where on the tee box you can see, I think it's at least 3 states, maybe it's even 4. It's like you can see like South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, and maybe it's like
Florida, probably
Tennessee or so, I forget. But it's wild. It's just beautiful. Just these rolling hills, and we're up on this bluff. It's this 200-yard par 3, and everyone would come up, and it was the hottest day of the summer. It was I think it was like 106. It was like 38 degrees. It was a hot day, and our gloves were just kind of perfect for that weather. That's kind of where we really stand out, is in that heat, right? Because our core gloves have that heavier weight of leather. They really hold up well in that heat, and just about everybody who came through was bleeding through their gloves at that point and could use a fresh one. So fun event. You can just kind of see the impact when someone puts on, a really high quality glove that fits them right, and you make an adjustment for them, something that maybe they've never had the opportunity to do. So hoping to do more of that next year. And then hopefully we can chat through a few new products that we're working on that make it even a little bit more flexible if we can't be there in person to do the glove fittings. There's a couple of other options that we have that travel better.
Yeah, for sure. We do have a number of new items that definitely travel better. But first off, let's go to our new product. new fall glove that we launched. It was about, what, 2 weeks ago? It's called the
roughly 2
Tawny.
weeks. Yeah.
And this thing, I don't know, it's would you call it a traditionalist glove? I feel like I've been transported back to the 1930s, maybe. The
Totally.
old
That
hickory shafts and gutta percha balls.
I wanted to call it like the Tom Weiskopf. Like that was, it just reminds me of like 70s plaid or something, you know. The style's really grown on me. I think when we wanted to do something fall, like we wanted it to complement the Comet and the Boilermaker, which we had launched last fall and carried through this year. And so we tried all kinds of different variations on the style, and I think we nailed it. You know, it's this great creamy beige with those brown tones, perfect for kind of fall golf, and goes well with lots of different outfits, and it's been fun. It's been selling great, and I love mine. So I've been having some fun, giving me the excuse to bring out some of my brown and beige outfits, and it's been holding up great.
Well, it's never a problem for me to break out khaki pants. I'm kind of that guy. So it definitely complements that. It's definitely, I liked Mandy's original name for it. We couldn't do it, obviously, but the Gentleman, I like that. It was just very prim and proper. But of course, we have lady sizes, so that would make it a little bit awkward. But yeah, it's been a fun addition. And like you said, it's been selling fairly well. And, you know, we've talked about this, just you and I. It's always interesting to see the drop in, not in interest, but you know, it's fall golf, and in the Northeast, it's starting to get cold, and in Canada, I imagine in some parts, it's starting to get not golf weather, right? So we see a little bit decrease interest from there, but then California, Florida still chugging away, Texas still chugging away. So it's a big continent. So we've got gloves for everybody and any time of the year. I wanted to show the listeners what we just got back in stock, hot off.
Oh yeah,
from Home Club. Home Club is
yep.
our Cock of the Walk socks. I find it fascinating. Like, I was playing the National Pro-Am, so National Golf Club of Canada. We were on the 10th green. I think it was our last hole. It was. We started on 11. It's our last hole, and the guy who I was playing with all day goes, "Hey, you haven't said anything." I'm like, "What do you mean?" And he pulls his sock just out from the bottom of his shoe. He's like, "I'm wearing your socks. These are the best damn things I've ever worn." Like, that's quite a compliment. You know, I've worn FootJoy socks for 15 years, right? These things are pretty nice. And I know you love them. I know our old friend Tyler Butler. I think I've sent him 12 so far.
Wow.
He cannot get enough of these.
He's a sock connoisseur.
Once I like something, I have to have it in reserve. That's what he says. So he loves them, and we've gotten tons of compliments on them. Like, best sock I've ever worn. Like, I don't take that lightly, right? People wouldn't tell you that if they didn't believe it to be true. So good on Home Club socks, because they're great. I think they've been a hit so far.
Yeah, they've been. Yeah, we tried them at the PGA show, and I was thrilled with them. I thought they were great, and they're perfect. They ship nicely with our gloves too. Perfect complement. Everybody can use another pair of good golf socks, right? So that was one of probably the hits of the summer. You know, when we dropped those socks, we were hoping to sell a couple hundred pairs, and we sold out quickly within a couple weeks, and we've just done the restock, so we should be good through the holiday season. Little stocking stuffer perhaps, but no, you kind of never know. We've tried lots of different, you know, partnerships this summer, and most of them have been great. That was one that was probably like a home run for us.
Yeah, for sure. Another one that went well was the Precision Pro rangefinder collaboration that we did. I'll show the folks who happen to watch, and thank you for watching. They kind of customize these clips where they get put onto the rangefinder. It's got the magnet for the cart, so you'll forget it at least once before you learn a good process to remember that. I've lost about 3 or 4 rangefinders in the last 3 years forgetting it on the cart.
I just did it this
There
past
may or may
week.
not be one in Georgia that is floating around due to Mr. Kerry Moher.
Yeah, that's at the starter's desk, and it will be shortly finding its way back to me. Yeah, it's easy to do. So it is super convenient. I love that feature of it. But yeah, be careful. Keep your eyes on it. Yeah, I've used it all summer. Just love it. I love the slope feature has been great too. Just gives me that, it makes that adjustment for me that I don't have to do the sort of mental math, and super accurate, and just love it. I'd been using the watch for a little while, and it just doesn't give you that, plus or minus 5% that kind of like makes a big difference.
No, I think the watches that go front, middle, back, respectfully, are for the average player, I'd say. And it's actually good for the average player because they don't have to get so hell-bent on shooting at the pin. Anyone from 150 yards and out hitting the green is a win for anyone. So I think that is a good thing. But for me, a laser is definitely a necessity. Playing for money, playing for score, whatever you're playing for, super important, especially if you're playing well. All of a sudden, 128 versus 125 is actually a big deal when you're really dialed in. But this rangefinder has been great. I wasn't aware of Precision Pro before we met Jonah and his team at the PGA show last year. We got to try one of their prototypes, and I love it. It's so nice. It's clear. I like the design where you place the big circle on the pin first. It's always there, and then the smaller one gets the number. I was talking to an old friend of mine, David Mathis, played the PGA Tour for 4 years and the nationwide web.com tour for 10 years. And he was looking for a new rangefinder, and he said, man, I don't want to buy a $400 Bushnell. And I said, I get it. And David being David, he was in, I think it was Global Golf, which is kind of centered here in Raleigh, actually, their headquarters. Okay. And they had a bunch of used rangefinders. And I had told him about the Precision Pro, and he's like, oh, I'll grab this used Precision Pro, see what it's like. He called me a day later. He's like, man, this thing is awesome.
Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to get it out of him. These are really nice rangefinders. So anyone who needs one, I encourage you to pick one up from us or Precision Pro. Like, they make a great product. So we're really pleased with that collaboration.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're working on a collaboration for the holidays with Precision Pro as well. So we'll keep you in the loop on that. But yeah, now just awesome product. We wanted to, there's a bunch of good rangefinders out there. And these guys, I'd say, if they're not the best, certainly one of the best. And great organization, awesome customer service, direct to consumer, just like us. So it's been a nice fit, nice partnership.
Yeah, it's a good fit. And the only company I've ever heard of who said, we'll give you free batteries for life.
Yeah, that's a cool one.
And those batteries are hard to come by too. They're hard to find sometimes.
Yeah, that's a great, I love their marketing and love their support.
So something else we came out with this past week. I know you love this thing.
Oh yeah.
The cockpit, named by my wife, Megan.
Yeah,
I said, we're not doing it right unless we name it the cockpit. I said, yeah, babe, you're right. That's why we're happily married. Yeah, this thing, man, it's cool. It's kind of what'd you call it? Like a designer glove wallet. It's kind of an upgrade on the glove compartment. It doesn't hang on your bag. It goes inside your bag. Super stylish. It's got the nice brass plated logo right here. And then you open it up and it's got a couple sleeves in there to put your gloves in. It's got a valuables pouch on the inside. Just kind of a new premium product that we introduced this past week, and people really like it so far, and that's great news.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I mean, if you're familiar with, the glove compartment, which I've got here, this has been a huge hit for us. We've sold, I think it's like 6,000 of these. it just, everybody needed a place to put their gloves, somewhere to keep them flat and dry, somewhere to even rotate them during the round. There's even a spot, to put your phone, etc. And the idea is this hangs on your bag. And so for some people, that's perfect. You can also put it in your bag. I see lots of people zip it in and out of the pouch. But this is a little bit bigger. There's kind of like a lot going on. This is sort of like, let's just call it like the premium version of that. It's a little bit more slick. It's a little bit smaller. It is meant to kind of like go into the side pocket, even, keep it in the locker. But I love it. Get lots of questions about, how many gloves can I fit in here? It fits 4. I think 3 super comfortably. You can get 4 in there. And I like how it's got these separators so you can, keep the gloves separate. But the idea here is, if you put a glove in here after it's dry, you keep it flat, it lasts a lot longer, and just, perfect spot to keep it. And it's nice to kind of like have that idea of rotating multiple gloves depending on what your outfit is or your mood, etc. So the other nice piece, and this is what we've been working on, is this brass plate can swap out. We can put any logo on there. That could be maybe it's a charity partner, maybe it's a sponsor, maybe it's a golf course. So we're hoping to work with some partners next year, makes a perfect member guest opportunity, and just, whatever sort of goes here. I love our little roosters all over. It says, wake up your game on the side, etc. But we're happy to co-brand it if we can, find a partner who wants to really send a proper thank you, because that every time you zip and unzip and grab a glove, you always remember kind of whoever's logo is on the front. So excited about where we can kind of take the cockpit next year.
Yeah, 100%. That's one of those items that you were talking about earlier, like not super easy to glove fit someone from 2,000 miles away, but it's easy to send 100 cockpits with, the golf course logo on the front, X country club member guest 2024, whatever it happens to be, makes a really, really nice gift. And it's different, right? It's not a shirt and a pullover. It's not, it's not a backpack with the club logo on it. It's something a little different that you'll use every time you play golf. So super excited about that. People love it so far. And it was fun designing it. I know you put a lot of effort into that. And again, same as the rain gloves, like we wanted this to be ready 6 months ago, 8 months ago. And just like the rain gloves, it's like, we don't have it right yet. Let's make it right. Let's make it awesome. And glad we waited as long as we did.
Yeah, we got a great partner. We're making these over in Indonesia as well, along with our gloves. It just got such great leather there and just such great craftsmanship. So we've gone through, 5 or 6 iterations of it, happy with it, still tweaking it slightly. But no, it's great. It's kind of my go-to now. And it's a nice way to kind of carry a couple gloves and kind of flip through and decide which one I want for the day. Even with the glove compartment, everything was sort of on top of each other. I find the glove compartment's great. I use it during the round. It's a great way to rotate gloves and keep them dry. I usually rotate at least 2 during a round, sometimes 3. And this one sort of serves a different purpose. It's more of like, where am I going to put those gloves after the round?
Yeah, we heard from plenty of people, including one of our collaborators who said, I don't like things on the outside of my bag.
Yeah,
I carry,
sure.
I don't like for it to be there, all the time rattling. So this kind of solves that issue for anyone who just kind of wants a clean outside of their bag. And you can store your gloves inside your bag for the entire round.
That's it. Agreed.
Finally, those of you who are watching again may notice my nice new levelwear cap with Wake Up stenciled on the front with our Red Rooster playing golf. So this is a hat that we're debuting fairly soon in white and in black, our Wake Up hats. Again, in collaboration with Levelwear, who I was sponsored by for a long time on the PGA Tour and Korn Ferry Tour. I believe I was actually their first professional golf wearer of their apparel, which was way back, I believe, in 2013. I think that's right. anyways, Brett Saunders from Canada, a longtime friend and golfing opponent of myself and my brother, hails from the Ottawa area. He heads up Levelware up in Canada, and they've been a great partner with us again. They made some jackets for that West Virginia Pro-Am, and now we've made some hats with them. This is the hat I've worn for years. It's a flex fit, so we've got a small, medium, and a LXL, and they're great. And I think I'm a white hat wearer, so mine don't last as long. I found this amazing product where I wash them in the dishwasher now, keeps the fit, but the black one will last forever. And I love this hat. I've worn it, like I said, for I think it's been 10 years now. I've worn this flex fit Levelware hat, so we're excited to launch this as well.
Yeah, those will be ready next week. Hopefully, when we drop this podcast. Yeah, this was the hat that you always wear. So we just asked Brett, can we customize it? Show him the back. I love how we've kind of branded this. I love the wake up on the front, the red rooster on the back. They did a great job. We've done a bunch of apparel with. I mean, I was a big Under Armour guy for years, and I've completely flipped over. Now I have a closet full of Levelware stuff, and it's incredible. And especially loving how we're changing the seasons now. I have all these amazing like vests and Q-zips and pullovers and everything I need to kind of for those multiple layers. That's kind of how I like to play. You got those early tee times where you need to be able to get out there where it's cool and peel off those layers as the sun comes out, etc. So that's also something that we're hoping to do, some limited runs of some of their gear, and hopefully tackle that. I don't know if we'll try to push it into the holiday season, but maybe in the new year where we'll do some runs for our customers where we'll pick a Q-zip, get the best one because we've tried just about everything, and we have a really good idea now of what we believe are their sort of best products, and then throw our logo on it and give our customers a bit of a price break. So we're excited to work with them. Got to kind of test a lot of their stuff this year and work with them a little bit more next year. So we're dipping our toe in there. And I think kind of on building on this theme of kind of the fall golf with our fall glove styles. We've had a bunch of requests for winter gloves. And of course, we'll have a redrop. Probably the most popular glove that we've dropped in the last year is the whiteout. It was just, this completely, white glove, all features. We were sold out completely. We may have like one left. I forget, in like one size. Sold thousands of those, crazy. And so we're going to be doing a restock. Hopefully be ready. I think it'll be, probably late December, early January, but that's not really a winter glove. Those are just our sort of core gloves. When I think of playing kind of like winter golf, I think of still playing for score. Even when I play in the rain, which I love to do, and got a chance to play. I was playing a course in Georgia this past week. It was, I don't know, like 45 degrees and pouring rain.
Yeah, you're weird, by the way.
I was just giddy because I was like, there'll be nobody. And there was nobody. I played by myself. But I wore these. I'll wear the rain gloves. I love the rain gloves. I'll often just wear one. If I'm wearing two, I'm doing, sort of true battle. But to me, making a winter glove, which would be to make this thicker and warmer, to me, it's just hard to actually play golf. Now, to me, the key is keeping your hands warm. So typically in those colder months, I like this because it's got the extra grip. There's a little bit more insulation in this. You can still wear a leather glove. That's not a problem. And then we've got our new winter mittens here.
Yes. And
we went through several iterations of these. Super happy with them. Just amazing. Working with this awesome manufacturer again in Indonesia that I met over there. We got something that is it's a really warm, awesome, call it a cart mitt, call it a winter mitt. It's meant to, wear in between shots to keep those hands warm, whether you're pushing the cart or whether you're driving it. It's even got a little pouch here where you can put one of those hot hands in here. You can unzip
yeah.
here, throw
Very
that
nice.
in there, get extra toasty if needed. And these will be ready. These are this is the final prototype. Same thing, went through several iterations of these, but super comfy, super warm, and meant that's kind of how I see winter golf. And we'll see how things play out. But we love the idea of like pair the rain rooster with the winter mittens. There's your kind of shoulder season, which we're in now. And it really is really critical. We had some bunch of friends of mine went down to Cabot. Was last week. It was for her 40th birthday, and a bunch of guys kind of hit me up last minute. They're like, "Oh man, think I'm going to need some winter mittens." And and we unfortunately we didn't have our winter mittens yet. But I was like, "You got to bring some rain gloves." I've played Cabot in October, and I've had snow. So you're going to get, the gamut, which is basically what they got. They played for 3 days. They had one day where the wind was blowing, 50 miles an hour and rain was coming at them sideways. They had a beautiful, bluebird sunny day, and then, something in the middle, but was kind of critical to have these. But also, even if it's not raining, you want to keep your hands warm, right? In between shots. So that's really, really key. I remember in college, and this is something we'll always think about too, is that, those hand warmers that like for the quarterbacks, right? That they'd put behind that little pouch, just anything you can do to kind of keep those hands warm, so that, you can still play golf. I love to play in the shoulder season, but, nothing worse than kind of flinching at the ball because your hands are frozen solid and hurting because you're trying to put your hands in your pockets or so on. So if you're prepared, you can, kind of play in anything.
Yeah, 100%. We all, anyone who played college golf can remember some of the hard days and how important those mittens were. Those things, man, they look like you could go downhill skiing with them, no problem. I may just do that.
Even the inside, like, I don't know if you can tell, but just nice, warm, fuzzy, like really just literally, border on the winter mitten. We tried a bunch that were like, they were, they're not just meant to keep the wind off, and the wind is kind of the key. But even just if you're pushing a cart or driving a cart, you're creating wind or you're holding onto that metal, you need something that can, keep those hands warm. You just slip these off, swing away, slip them back on. When your hands are warm, the rest of your body's warm. And it's, and everything's manageable. So I do see a lot of people playing golf in the shoulder season, without some sort of cart mitten. And I think, the alternative are these true sort of winter mittens, which are a thicker, heavier weight. And your hands are probably warm in those, but it's hard to actually score and really play golf. You can't quite feel the club in your hands. So this is the best alternative in our opinion.
Yeah, and I think they'll be great. I think my opinion on playing golf and not playing for score. What's the point? So that'll be if I happen to play any competitive rounds or any rounds at all in the super cold. And it does get cold here in North Carolina. There's a few days that you really don't want to be playing golf, but I think I'll be acquiring a pair of those. I may just take one from the shelves and try them out on the course and see how it goes. Look forward to that. So yeah, we've got a whole bunch of things that we've introduced. There's a couple on the way, like we talked about with the level wear hats and the winter mittens. So even though the summer was busy and the fall's been quite busy as well, I think the winter, Black Friday, Christmas, gift giving opportunities, I think we're in a good spot. I really do.
Yeah, we're making some modifications to the website, kind of on an ongoing basis. You'll notice there's a great sort of starter kit. We've got making some changes even just in the checkout. The most popular accessory by far has been the glove compartment, and trying to make that a little bit more affordable and a little bit more accessible, especially for our subscribers. So making some changes there. And then there's some new features coming out from our subscription partner. I think the biggest one that we can take advantage of is a gifted subscription. That's something we haven't been able to do. Whoever's on the subscription have to run their credit card each month when the gloves go through. There was no ability to, buy an annual subscription of gloves for a friend or family member. And so that feature will be coming out shortly, good timing for the holidays. We've got some winter hats to kind of complement the winter mittens, and we're working on a revamp of a lot of our accessories. I think that the biggest thing we're probably looking for some feedback on, which will likely come out this next week, we'll be announcing the winner of our recent referral contest. So look for that announcement next week. They've won one of the NX10 range finders from Precision Pro. Nice gift there for sharing their referral link with some friends and family members. But we're also going to be sending out just a quick survey on, how we could make that referral program better. We've been growing leaps and bounds this year. We're trying every sort of marketing channel that we can, and we've been getting lots of great wins kind of across the board. And we know how happy our current customers are and how social the game of golf is. And, referrals probably the best compliment we can get, and trying to make it easy for our current customers to, share Red Rooster with friends and family members that play the game that they think would benefit from our products. So look for a survey to just tell us like how we could improve that. We worked with Smile. It's a rewards program this year that has this referral component. We've been generally happy with it and just sure that it could be better. So we'll be sending that out shortly and looking for some feedback, and then working with a new partner, Meridian Putters, working on a really cool new putter that'll be part of the referral program giveaway for our November and December months, and also been working with Squares. So great shoes. I had heard of Squares for a while. I remember, Nick Faldo was, I think, the sort of like early spokesperson for Squares, and so got a chance to play with them this summer and just love them. They've got this squared toe. The claim is the most stable shoe in golf. They've won tons of awards. Again, direct to consumer, just like us. And I've been really impressed with them. Just really, really comfortable shoes. Was able to like break them in right away. I'm always worried about that first round. So I love
that's the worst.
You get those blisters, or you barely get through the front nine, and these just like no issues with them. I've played with them through that rounds in Georgia where it was pouring rain, feet are bone dry, and I feel the stability. Like they are like a little bit wider at the toe. It just feels like normal golf shoes feel like a little crammed. The toes start to get. That's just kind of the feel of a golf shoe to me. It has been in the past, and these ones feel almost like a court shoe, and it does feel great and stable, and they happen to play pretty well. So, but they've been a great partner for us, and hopefully do a few things with them over the holidays as well. So lots of cool stuff coming down. Love the chance to kind of use this medium to share with the audience, what we're working on, what pick your brain. Every time we put out a survey, or we had a lot of fun naming the the fall gloves, the tawny. We had some names that we had to censor. Not to say
they wouldn't pass the Google censor, would they?
No, they would.
No,
they would have been rejected. They were pretty spot on, but I think we had 900 submissions.
That's awesome.
For that naming contest. So every time we've kind of gone to the audience and said, can we pick your brain on something? We've really been blown away by the response. So we're going to continue to do that. There's probably some products that we aren't on our radar that are on yours. So look for more of that kind of interaction. And then we're hoping to get, it's been hard. I think one of the hardest parts is we've been so busy. Brad's still really well connected in the, pro golf community. We've had, we've had a bunch of great guests this year, and we had a bunch of really great guests that were near misses. Just hard to coordinate their schedules with our schedules and with our podcaster schedule. So hopefully we'll line up a few of those. Got a good one, fingers crossed, for next week that we're hoping to connect with and hope to share that with you guys. Keep the emails coming in. Love to hear from everyone. Love the interaction on social media. We've had an amazing, second sort of year of operation here. As I touched on, just moving into a new warehouse here. So we had kind of consolidated things from, reclaiming my basement back. And we had a couple of other spots where we'd run around town from warehouse to warehouse. And now we've got everything under one roof. An amazing partner, local e-commerce company that's been operating for a couple of decades. You hope to learn from them and just kind of also do some partnerships with them. Hopefully we'll be able to have some exciting stuff to share in the new year, but feeling good about the summer and feeling good about moving into the holiday season.
Yeah, for sure. I've been in my own spot down here in Holly Springs, North Carolina for a long time, so I can't really feel your pain of being, homebound by the company. I've been out of here for a long time and had, have our own space here. So I'm glad you've got that kind of not out of sight, out of mind, more than like, hey, I get to go to work today, not I get to walk downstairs and go to work. I think in this case, the work from home was a little bit overrated, and I'm glad you're out of there, and Glenn and Mandy can help you out as well. That's a super cool thing. All right, Carrie, this has been a long time coming. I'm glad we got to introduce a bunch of new products, upcoming products to the audience, kind of recap what we've done over the summer and into the fall. So we will be recording again in the near future. I will see you then. Thanks so much for joining us for this episode of the Red Rooster Golf Podcast. For my partner, Carrie Moher, I am Brad Fritsch. We'll see you again next time. And there will be a next time. But until then, tee it high, let it fly, and cock-a-doodle-doo.